Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm CarnagePanda.
And we are back for week 9 of Anime Talk Fall 2018, where the return of ranking has come. You know, I guess it had to happen eventually. You know, not everything can be great all the time.
Unfortunately, never has truer words been said.
Thank you for validating exactly what I just said. In fact, no truer words have been said about what he just said, about what I said.
This is very true.
Okay, so, with that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the animes we enjoyed, those we didn't enjoy as much, and see if you guys agree or disagree with us. Starting with our number 5. Iroduku comes in at our bottom spot this week. Now, this episode is... We get to see why Sho was being all edgelord last episode. Because apparently, even though he has, you know, Sagi who really cares about him, even though she doesn't tell him, and he's blind to it, even though everyone else sees it, he apparently had feelings for... I forgot her name already. Hitomi.
I don't understand this episode at all.
They sort of came out of left field. Like, when did he ever show... when did he ever display any sort of interest in her in this fashion? Like, ever.
This episode.
Yeah. I mean, it just sort of... You know, last episode, he's like all edgelord around her for no reason.
I get really confused over this episode because I thought they were going to set Asagi up with Sho.
Yeah.
And they set up what's-her-face that wears the glasses, whose name I'm not going to remember because I don't want to, up with the other guy. And that Aoi was going to go with Hitomi, and I think this episode was unnecessary.
It kind of was. Okay, so... Sho sets up an elaborate plan. He's going to take Hitomi out on they're going to go take pictures together under the pretense that it's practice. You know, he's going to teach her more about photography and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll come back to practice later.
Wait, why? Oh, so the date, you know, goes okay. You know, they're having a good time because she believes, they're just two friends having a good time. And then at the end of it, they have a very unnecessary scene. Well, this whole episode's kind of unnecessary, but she's getting on the train to go home.
This scene right here, the way it was shot was very curious because
they're standing on a sidewalk. Okay. The train comes up, it flips a little letter saying that they're going to go to where she lives.
Comes to a stop.
She takes 2 steps out in front of the train, and he calls back to her.
And she's like, huh?
And he starts, like... First off, this part was unnecessary, because he starts saying something that we can't hear, because the train starts taking off. Which, to our eyes, she was standing on the tracks!
She was standing on the tracks.
But then...
And the train should have hit her, but... In the next couple of shots, she's not standing on the tracks.
And, you know, Sho is continuing to talk without, you know, we can't hear because of the train rumbling by. And then at the end says, I really like you, and do you want to go out together? Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so, you're right. We need to complain about this because bleeping out his lines was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
When at the end he says, I like you, let's go out.
So what was the purpose of creating the suspense of, oh god, what is he saying? If at the end you're just going to go, oh, he's saying that.
You know what I think it is?
That these guys are better artists than they are writers?
I think the director sat down and watched a couple episodes of Angels of Death.
Oh god.
And was like, you know what? I need to put something completely terrible in my show, at least for one episode.
So, Hitomi's all like, oh shit, and she just runs away. She can't...
Run away!
Run away! Run away! And it shows her, like, the next 5 minutes are her, like, walking mopily, riding like a tram car mopily.
This boy likes me. Life is suffering.
And, and then, like, Sho calls Kohaku to make sure she got home safe. She didn't know where she is, and she's all worried, but then they see her walking up the drive mopily. And it basically boils down to let's do what they should have done with this episode. It should have been a short segment that went, Sho likes me, but I don't reciprocate. What should I do? You should tell him that you don't like him. Okay. Bing! Done. No, we have to spread this out across 22 agonizing minutes.
Yes, this entire drama was unnecessary. And it's my firm belief that they should have just been like, there's not going to be an episode this week, and just thrown everything they've done in the dumpster where it belongs.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that sort of makes this episode possibly necessary for the future is that it causes tension between Asagi and Sho. Because Asagi, she goes and she sees Sho, and he's posting the pictures they had done up on the clubhouse wall. And she's like, oh, is that the...
Posting.
Oh, yeah. He puts tape on them, and he puts them on the wall. And I think there was an art flub up, because there's one... Watch the episode. There's one photo that has tape on it that clearly is not touching the wall.
It's not on the wall, so...
So it's like, what is holding that picture up?
I wonder if they'll correct that in the Blu-ray.
So... She's like, oh, look at, is that your new collection? Oh, yeah, it's my new collection. Oh, you go there all the time. Yeah, I know, it's just, my place. And then she goes and she's talking to Hitomi because she looks down. And it's like, oh, you look down, let me talk to you. And she looks at her camera, because she's looking at her camera, and it's the exact same pictures. So because Asagi's not dumb, she put 2 and 2 together. Because, Hitomi starts talking about, what do you do if a boy confesses feelings for you and you don't, you don't want to hurt him and blah, blah, blah. And she basically is like, look, you can't worry about that. And then she sees the pictures and she gets all upset and she starts talking about how she has a love that she's never confessed her feelings to. And, she doesn't say anything more indicating who it is. So, Hitomi she cowboys up and she goes over there and she's like, look, I don't like you that way.
Can we just be friends?
And they have the most awkward handshake in the universe. And she walks away.
Accepted.
And then there's 2 final scenes. There's one scene where Aoi finds Sho up on the roof of the school. He's laying down staring at the sun. And he's like, you okay? He's like, I just got rejected. And there's this quiet scene and we start laughing because all of a sudden you start hearing a band playing.
Yeah, there's a shot to a band.
They're playing horribly.
They're playing horribly off key. So yeah, they need more practice.
We and this Joe made the same joke at the same fucking time. He's like, no, they need to practice more.
And this puts Sho into such agonizing pain. He's like screaming.
He stands up.
Agony over it.
He stands up. He stands up like fucking like Android 17 in Dragon Ball Super, where he just sort of like raises his torso and just like gets up, stands firmly up, takes a deep breath, waits for the band club to start playing, and just begins to scream like ah! Like it literally sounds like someone took like a sample of people being murdered in a horror film.
This is not a private scream either. They could hear it all over the campus.
I mean, at first they could. It was actually in time with the tuba and the wind instruments.
Oh man!
But then the wind instruments stop and he's still screaming.
That's at least my interpretation of this scene.
And then at the end he goes, "Ah, that was invigorating." It's like, okay. I mean, I get the whole sometimes you just gotta scream thing. But he literally screamed to the point where the whole campus was going, the fuck? What is even?
See, this episode was one of the things I really hate in stories, and that's like a love triangle. And this was a faux love triangle.
Yeah, because it's not even, because the final scene, Hitomi comes and talks about how she turned Sho down, and Asagi is like, is all like, he's like, I've always liked him, and blah, but he never liked me back, and runs away.
See, I don't even know what.
So, like you said, it's a faux love triangle because they're not even competing now. Like, Hitomi just came out and said, I don't want him.
I don't even know what show was going on about in this episode either, because they've clearly set him up to be with Asagi, and Hitomi is kind of a bland character.
Yeah.
And she's not even the prettiest girl in the show.
She's not, I wouldn't say she's bland, it's just she's very much a trope. She's very much of the I can't do anything for myself weakling trope.
Boys like me, life is pain.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very stupid too. But it's like they tried, it's like I loved this show. I loved it up until today because it was very charming. I loved the group dynamic they had. You know, like the way everyone interacted, it was charming, it was beautiful. This episode, it was like, shit, we need to introduce drama for the sake of having drama.
They needed to go in a completely different direction.
They did. This was
a waste of time, to be honest.
It honestly was. I mean, it's... Well, that's what... Alright, look. Was the story a waste of time? Absolutely. But this episode had some of the most beautiful shots in it of the entire show.
Yeah, well, if not anything, that you could just say that Iriduku has probably the best artwork out of any of the shows
absolutely
airing this season.
So, any final thoughts on this episode?
I really hope that they go in a different direction next week, because I don't want to see something like this again.
Yeah, studio, whoever you are who makes this show,
PA Works.
PA Works, please do better. Thank you. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and move right along.
Our fourth entry this week is Zombieland Saga.
This really surprised us that it's this far down on the list this week.
They kind of, went away from the humor for some... I mean, there were some humorous parts.
Yes, but it wasn't very funny.
It wasn't what we've come to expect from Zombieland Saga.
And I think the biggest problem is, not one time this entire episode did we get to hear, Ohayo gozaimasu!
That was missing this episode.
Not a single Ohayo gozaimasu.
What was Tatsumi thinking?
I know, really. But, what did we get this week?
We got a super serious dissection of Saki's past as a biker.
Yep.
And her close friend, who is the
Reiko.
mother of the now boss of the old biker gang that she was boss of.
Maria.
We'll call them that.
That's what their names.
You know what? They were really forgettable to me, because...
Yeah.
I was kind of bored this episode.
I kind of was too. I mean, it was fun. Okay. During the beginning, when Sakura, Tai, and Lily are at the water fountain.
Yeah, so they start off with that. Tai is like giving mouth to the water fountain.
And it doesn't show it at first, but at some point she her mouth pops off and water starts coming out and she falls over.
Yeah,
and it's just like the distended belly and everything.
She got totally wrecked by the water fountain.
And she's just laying there, just water, just... It was so fun.
But then we're quickly introduced to Maria and her biker gang.
Of all two people.
Which, this scene was actually funny to me, because...
Yes.
Typically in anime, they don't use a lot of animation unless it's for an action scene that's like high octane and requires a lot of movement.
Yep.
And Maria and her goons show up. I use goons loosely because they're just little...
They're wannabes. They're wannabes. You know they are.
Middle school girls or whatever. And there's like a lot of animation put into them walking forward.
Slowly.
Trying
to be intimidating. With these goofy faces, just like, ugh.
And there's this soundtrack playing in we're very tough, and
I love it because it started a trend for this episode. It zooms in on them and does this overlay on their faces with a big two exclamation points or it's exclamation point and a question mark, wasn't it? It's supposed to be this symbol that they're giving the look. It's biker look. that's supposed to be intimidating for somehow.
And they're trying to bully Sakura and Lily, and they come to the conclusion that they cannot bully Lily because she's too young.
Yeah, she's like, what school do you go to? And Lily's like, I'm a grade schooler for life. And then one of the groups is like, boss, we can't, we can't be seen, bullying grade schoolers. She's like, fine, you're exempt.
What, Sakura?
You!
Fuck you.
To which, and this is further proof, I say it's further proof that Tai is awoke. Because she then comes in to save the day by starts nomming on Maria's hair.
Oh yeah, this made me think of Sailor Moon because she had the same kind of hairstyle. She had the buns, and
hers actually looked like buns, like what's that thing that they dumpling? Kind of looks like they look like little dumplings on her head.
And
then in comes Saki, and it's just sort of like
she's like, yeah, you're out of you're way out of your class. I'm way tougher than you. And they just shrink away and are like, we gotta go. Doing their best Commander Shepard impression.
Yeah. And when they walk away, Saki sees that I guess it's a thing in biker gangs to have their name and rank and the name of their gang written on the back of their jacket. Because she sees that the name is the same. Was it Dororu? Doromi?
Something like that.
I think it's Dorumi. And it's like, she's like, oh shit, that look at her face.
That was my gang.
Yeah, and you get this flashback of her with her young friend who was the first. Saki wasn't the leader of the group. Apparently, her friend was. She was the first leader of Dorumi.
Something must have gotten lost in translation here.
Yeah. So, it's like Saki is moping about. Actually, there's a fun scene of them all in the van. It's doing the whole all the where they're rambunctious kids in the van with the annoyed adult driving the car. I love this scene. He just keeps screaming at them from the driver's seat as they're doing stupid shit in the back.
Because Lily was looking for her squid, and clearly Tai had eaten it. You're right. She's awake because she's like, Tai, did you eat my squid? And she's like, no.
With tentacles hanging out of her mouth.
It's hanging out of her mouth. You're like, yeah, she definitely ate her squid.
Yep. So Saki sees Maria and her friends being bullied by another biker chick gang. So she just goes...
The murder girls.
Yes, the murder girls. So she says, fuck it, slides the van door open at highway speeds, and then tuck and rolls down some stairs.
Well, she could have ducked and covered too.
Yeah, she could have. And she stands up, and everyone turns to look at her, and the camera's all of a sudden upside down for no reason. At first, I was like, what the fuck? It shows it's a POV shot of Saki. She had broken her zombie neck on the way down the stairs. Her head's completely upside down.
What's going on? And she's like, oh, I better fix that.
She comes in there and she basically saves Maria's ass from getting it kicked. And they're like, we'll settle this another way. And then it's back at the mansion. Tatsumi's not too happy with Saki.
Yeah, she's not doing idle things, and she can't communicate to living people without doing idle things.
Yep, and apparently, violence isn't very idle. You can't be participating in violence if you're an idol.
Violence isn't right,
He's been watching a lot of Zeta Gundam. I might put that GIF here.
That GIF is classic, and you should do that.
So she sneaks out anyway, because she finds out that they were going to have a chicken race. And so she sneaks out. Meanwhile, it shows Maria's home life with her mother. Now grown-up version of Saki's friend Reiko.
Who was her mother was actually
the leader of...
I guess the leader...
Yeah, she said the first leader of Dorumi.
I don't understand this whole thing, because the whole time they've been saying Saki was the leader. And now... Well,
no, this is, Infinite's... I thought it said Infinite's member of the blah 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 gang or whatever.
Oh, whatever.
I don't remember. I don't remember, but maybe there's something else. Maybe I forgot. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But, so... She tries to stop her daughter. Her daughter sneaks out. And she's going to do the chicken. They're going to play chicken at the same place where Saki died.
Play chicken?
Yeah. playing chicken, the exact thing against the exact same group, only in the past.
Notice that Saki likes chickens a lot.
Yes, she does. So, it showed in the past, it didn't show how it happened, it showed the outcome. You see a broken rail, an explosion, happening in the background. Assuming, insinuating she didn't stop. Because, first... So... They're about to do it, right? They're about to do it, and then all of a sudden, Maria's mom shows up, and she starts... Instead of, it's so weird, because, Maria hates her mom for being so apologetic all the time, and it's like, stop being so weak, Mom! God damn! And she's like, please forgive my daughter, please let's not do this. To the other gang leader, the Murder Girl's gang leader.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want my girl to grow up to be like I was, or something.
Yeah.
One of those tales.
So, then they all stop, because they hear... As if somebody was taking those old clinking, the clinking bicycle bells?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like somebody's the sound effect they used was someone taking one of those and going ding 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 ding. Because you see Saki coming on a bicycle, and she turns the corner to come at them, and then she can't stop, and she just keeps going. She's just
maybe she just doesn't understand the concept of a break.
I don't think she does, because she decides she has a Miss America pageant, beauty pageant sash that says "Captain for a Day," and she's like, "I'm the captain of the Doromi, just for today." And Murder Girl Captain's all like, "I don't care who I race, as long as I put an end to Dorumi here and now." And Reiko sees Saki just clear out, and she's like, "Saki, is that you? Oh my god!" And she turns around, and she's like, "Who the hell is Saki?" To pretend she's not, And she's like, "I'm gonna borrow your bike, old lady." She gets on Reiko's bike, they do chicken, and then they start going, right? They're neck and neck, and then Saki's just like, "Fuck it," speeds up.
She's clearly insane. This girl is clearly insane.
It freaks out the Murder Girl's captain. She puts on the brakes and
she lost
and spins
she
out.
She lost, and Saki's like, "Well, time to keep going."
She does. She goes. She says something to the effect of "Check this out," and plows through the railing, and it does a slow motion shot. Like, yeah. Boom.
She didn't think very much about the landing.
She did the exact same thing that killed her.
Oh, there was the one shot of before she actually died of her giving her Tamagotchi to Reika.
That's right, because he shows Reika, and she opens her drawer to get her old bike key out, and there's the Tamagotchi, of course dead. It was all, as if not dead as in the Tamagotchi was dead, I mean as if the battery had died. Just sitting there on a, pride of place on a cushion.
But...
And that's going to come up here in a minute when we talk about something else we don't like, but, so they're all like, "Oh shit, she just fucking died." And then she just sort of climbs back up because she's a fucking zombie, apparently invincible. So she helps mend the relationship between mother and daughter, and then it's then starts telling off both biker gangs for being biker gangs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you want to, really make an impact, this isn't the way to do it. I'll show you how you do it. And it shows Tatsumi was watching the whole time. And it pans over to the van. He's like, "Music, come on!" Then it's suddenly it's an impromptu idol session. All the girls are there, and Saki is the lead vocalist this time. And they do this kind of cool rock thing.
I mean, they're filling out their album, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like the song though. I mean, I admit I dug the song.
I'm still confused. They didn't use any CG this episode.
Yes, I'm kind of glad they are getting away from CG. But it just overall, it wasn't very funny. It wasn't that it was a bad story per se. I like the story.
Contrast it with the last couple of episodes where we've been getting some backstory.
Yeah, and
with Ai Junko and Lily, and we got the feels with Lily.
Yes,
and that was able to carry the episode. And the other episodes were carried, but I couldn't help but feel bored during this episode.
That's part of the problem. Like I said, I don't think it was a bad story to tell. I just think the way they executed it was poorly. Because it wasn't really interesting to follow. I mean, like I said, the only thing that really puts it above Iraduku for us this week is that there were funny moments. But I think there was like 2 total. So, I mean, it was like...
It's also above Iraduku because, even though I was bored, they're telling the story of Saki, and I don't feel like my time was wasted.
Granted, yes, because it does serve a purpose. So, like I said, it's not the best episode of the lot. Probably Zombieland's worst. Kind of like with Iraduku. It's like this episode, it was definitely their worst of the season.
Yeah. Unfortunate for such a good show.
Yes, which kind of bugs me because we're getting towards the end. I hope that these shows aren't tail spinning. I hope that they're not, just about to all flop at the end. I'm terrified that this is going to happen.
I feel like we just got one bad episode, and
I don't know.
I'll see next week because they're apparently doing something on Yugiri.
Yes, I'm kind of
in the snow.
Because Yugiri is the one character we know nothing about next to Tai.
Next to Tai.
The only thing we know about... Actually, we know one more thing about Yugiri than we do Tai. Tai, we know nothing. Yugiri, we know she came from the Meiji era. That's it.
This does bring up a question, for me at least, though.
Okay.
If they're just going to keep doing, backstory episodes, we've got 3 episodes left.
Yes.
And we still have to tell Yugiri's, Sakura's, and Tai's. That takes up the entire rest of the season.
I don't think that we're going to get a Sakura backstory, but we are probably going to... I think Sakura's story is probably going to be the conclusion of the show.
So, you would assume they're going to be doing Yugiri, then Tai,
yes,
and then something Sakura.
Yes, like it's going to be...
Sakura, whole story, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, she is the main character. I mean, at least they play her as the main character for, like, the first half of the series.
For the first 2 minutes.
No, for the first half of the series. Even though the other girls were there, she was always the main focus. Like, even when girls had problems, it always sort of focused back to Sakura because she was always trying to do things. So, we weren't happy. We were not happy this week with Zombieland Saga. We're hoping for better next week. But from here on out, things get better. We're not as unhappy with our remaining entries. And let's go ahead and start talking about those right about now. And coming in at number 3 this week is Double Decker. Which, what was it? It was, what was the episode of this called?
Don't think, feel so good. Which is a quote that Kirill took entirely out of context.
And wrong.
Which we learned at the end of the episode, yes. But I guess it's relevant now because they really just gloss over it.
Well, this episode, it starts out with Dr. Apple.
Dr. Apple.
Showing off his new inventions. Rocket skates. And a jetpack. And what was it called?
Spy Vision or whatever?
Yeah, we'll call it that. I can't remember. He actually had a name for it. I can't remember what it was called. View Hack, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
And then they do this whole sequence where it's like showing how badass it is. And then Dr. Apple's like, huh? What do you all think, huh?
Yeah, these things are all actually pretty badass, but...
They point out a big problem with them. It's like, when would we ever use these in our line of work? In what we normally do? When would we ever use these?
It's like the first 2 things he developed exclusively for Kirill's use.
Probably.
Because he's like the only guy that would use this stuff.
Yes.
Even though a jetpack is badass.
Yeah.
And I guess rocket skates are badass.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unless you wreck on them.
Yeah. So, and then of course, besides that problem, all the girls are like, yeah, you will use that to spy on us.
The girls have a huge problem with the view hack. Because the view hack actually shows what they're seeing through their eyes.
Yep.
Because they've all got implants or something.
I guess.
It's connected with the stuff that shows up in their eyes.
Oh, yes, that's right. When they detect people with the Anthem use.
Yeah. So all the girls are like, you're just going to use this to look at us while we're in the shower, right?
So she gets all flustered and is like, no, it's truly altruistic reasons. It's just for work. And no, I would never, blah, blah, blah. It's a fun little scene. Then it's like just sort of like glossed over. It's like, okay, now to the show. And so the head general, I guess, of the military, because, you know, they said that back in the day, 7-0 is, you know, under the military, under military jurisdiction. Dude comes in saying, hey, this, you know, politician, his little girl got kidnapped, and I want you guys as a, you know, personal favor to me, because this guy's a, you know, my best, you know, friend of mine, to go in there and help get her back.
I feel like I've heard this storyline before.
Probably.
Yeah, President Ronnie has been kidnapped. Are you a bad enough dude to save him?
So they perform this sting operation, right? And it's pretty well thought out. You know, it's like it could work. But
spoilers, it doesn't.
Nope. They actually do. They know exactly what their plan is, and they do things to obscure their vision, to stop them from being able to follow everything. And it's up to Doug to do it by himself. To which he's quickly overpowered and knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. So politician's whole thing, he was faking the kidnapping to help him get votes for re-election.
Yeah,
because he was gonna show up and be the big goddamn hero.
He's like, look how hard I fought to save my daughter.
But it turns out he's in cahoots with the League of Villains.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, which apparently has a leprechaun in it.
Yeah, they have a fucking leprechaun, and we're 9 episodes in, and they don't give these guys any characterization.
Nope,
whatsoever.
No,
you have this,
or names. They don't have names.
You have this woman. You have a leprechaun. It's just a fucking leprechaun.
A fucking leprechaun. A woman, a leprechaun, and a big dude. And their actual goal was to kidnap Doug, or at least anyone from 7-0, because they want to know how their anti-anthem bullet making device works. So they're torturing Doug to try to get him to talk about how it works.
Doug won't talk, however. He's a professional.
Yes, and he's they're all like, oh shit, we gotta find Doug, we gotta save Doug, and
so Dr. Apple uses the view hack.
Yes.
To see what's going on, and he's horrified to see that Doug is being held captive by a leprechaun.
And was it Zebel? Zabel?
Yeah, Zabel or Zebel or whatever, and
was he in the previous episode?
Yeah, he's been in somewhere because they've done the whole A to Z thing with
Did they?
Yeah,
I can't
because remember. It was episode 5, the one
the one we glossed over. That's right. Yeah.
That it was just complete utter nonsense where they fought Bamboo Man for like 15 minutes.
And Doug's like, "Oh, so I got it backwards." It's not from highest to lowest rank, A to Z. It's actually lowest to highest, isn't it? And Zebel's like, maybe it is. Kind of dismissive about it. And he leaves his goons to either get Doug to talk or slap this patch of anthem on him to get see if that will get him to talk. And
meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice,
they're actually like start to communicate with Doug using the view hack. Like they start making the 7-0 icon in the top left of his periphery blink in Morse code.
This is one thing that I absolutely hate about shows.
Please.
Is that okay? So Kay comes up. Oh, we could communicate with Doug,
right?
By using Morse code.
Yes.
Like, I don't even fucking know Morse code. Like, nobody uses telegraphs anymore. Who fucking studies this shit?
I think they still use Morse code.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they probably still use Morse code.
But this is always banking off the chance that some character knows Morse code, which they always do.
And then talks back in Morse code by blinking his eyes.
This is my only gripe about the episode.
Okay.
This trope needs to die.
So by Doug looking at a map of the parking structure he's in, they find out where he is and they go to save him. And Kiro puts on all the gadgets. He got the rocket boots, he's got the rocket pack, and
go gadget rocket pack.
And he's gonna go save him. He goes in there. He's actually. I was like, okay. I thought it was going to be a pratfall. I thought the moment he's like, okay, and go, and he like the things would fly out from underneath him. And he'd fall.
Yeah, I was expecting a faceplant here too.
But no, he actually is pretty proficient. He's actually kicking people's asses too.
Okay, so yeah,
he's skating around.
He is wrecking these guys on rocket skates with a jetpack.
Yeah. I would say almost single-handedly, if it wasn't for the fact that Pink was up there, like, you know, firing distracting explosive rounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Pink is up there suppressive firing by blowing up cars. And Kirill is in there being our action hero, kicking everybody's ass.
On rocket skates. Rocket skates! And so, you know, it distracts him so much that I love it. Like, Rookie has to sit there and she's like, she starts. No, it wasn't Rookie. It was the girl in back. It's always Travis's secretary.
Oh yeah.
She was monitoring through what Doug was seeing, and she's doing it horribly. She's going, and look out behind you. And Kirill's like, doesn't tell me anything. What does mean? He's like, Doug's got a gun, and why did he do that?
Okay, I don't understand how he was able to. Well, they did restrain him by just tying his thumbs up. So
yes,
they're like, these fucking thumbs are dangerous.
So he somehow, because, you know, the secretary is a horrible at relaying information, she says, a lot. He gets the gun and then jumps off the parking deck.
I feel like this plan was not well thought out. This was like totally out of character for Doug. He's like, I'm just gonna jump off the 3rd floor to my death.
Dude, Kirill just happens to be on, you know, the roundabout going up.
It's a good thing that Kirill had some rocket skates and a jetpack equipped.
Because he uses the rocket skates to. Yeah, it's like total action hero. See, like, this is 80s cheese right here. This is absolute 80s cheese.
You know what? I don't care. I love it.
I love it, yeah. I'm not saying 80s cheese is bad. I love 80s cheese. I mean, I would gladly watch like movies like Commando and, Total Recall any day of the week because those movies are fucking hilarious.
80s movies, what about Predator?
Love it.
Well, you know what? They did run and get to the chopper.
They did. Well, they didn't run. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Kirill uses the rocket skates to jump out to him, and Doug does like a 3-point landing on his shoulders. And then, without breaking Doug's balance whatsoever, proceeds to ride him, firing at enemies.
Just scratch that one.
No, he's riding on his shoulders.
That sounds so wrong.
He is riding on his shoulders. And as Kirill is maneuvering, then Doug is he's got Ash Link style shot because he's headshotting everyone they go by.
This should be a sequence in a video game.
It absolutely should. So they see Robot and Boxer in the helicopter, the escape helicopter, and just happens that there's metal pipes in the form of a ramp right there.
So these scenes did confuse me a little bit because it looked like Robot and Pink and everybody were shooting at Doug and Kirill.
It kind of did.
It's like, what's going on here?
I think it was supposed to be suppressive fire to stop the bad guys, but It looked like they were firing at Doug and Kirill.
I got the wrong impression from these scenes.
We both looked at each other. We were like, why are they firing at him? But so they use the ramp. He whips out the jetpack, and they're going to fly to the helicopter. And of course, it runs out of juice. Just like
probably because it's carrying 2 people.
Yep, and like Kirill can't reach, and he misses. But like, of course, Doug's on his shoulder, so he grabs Robot's hand, and they fly away into the sunset, while Doug is holding him with the back of his knees, like underneath Kirill's arms, and Kirill's being strangled to death because of it.
Yeah. So the only other thing I want to add about this episode is when everybody suits up in their tails coat.
They have a suit up scene. It's like, team suit up! They walk into this white room, and as they walk into the white, they fade out. And they do this this montage of all of them, almost like it's Power Rangers.
Like, yeah, we're badass now.
Yep.
Except for Robot.
Yep.
When she suits up, all that happens is that panels slide in her crotch, and her butt to reveal them.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
panel that
okay.
slides open to show her crotch, and it slides open to show her butt crack. It's like,
Okay.
oh, the part we missed, like right before the, I guess this is going to be relevant, maybe, but then again, we've had mysteries and things at the end that, like, haven't gone anywhere yet either.
The greatest mystery. What are the names of the Legion of Doom?
That's another one, yeah. But it's like, so, before they started the rescue operation, Kirill says that line, what was it?
Don't feel so good.
So, the commander, the leader of the army commander, he's like, hey, that good luck chant of yours. Where did you hear that? He's like, oh, that's something my grandfather said. I don't think I got it right, but it's something I've always used to, it's always brought me good luck. He's like, oh, okay, well, good on you. And then as Kirill leaves, he puts on a serious face again. And it's like, ooh, mystery, what's going on? And then during the end credits, he starts reading out this, like, poem, like, this prayer.
Yeah.
And they highlight the words. It's like, you said, don't think.
Yeah, don't think feel so good is in it, but...
Yeah, it's don't think, comma, feel so, period, next paragraph, good, and then a bunch of other stuff.
It's this long thing, too.
Yeah.
And all that Kiro got out of it was, don't think feel so good.
And he's all like, how did that officer's grandfather know that prayer? Very few people know that prayer. And I guess it's, even though they've set up mysteries of this Legion of Doom and, the mysterious, where Kirill's sister has been this whole time, and, all kinds of other things they've set up that have no payoff or that have even been revisited, we have another thing that probably won't be revisited.
Greatest mystery is after they go after the leprechaun, will he yell out, "They're after me Lucky Charms"?
Please tell me they do. Please tell me they do. I guess the episode just... the final scene of the episode, though, did kind of crack me up. It's like, Kirill's like, he's going into the Doug's hospital room, like, they're about to, like, strut his stuff about how cool he is. And he comes in there and Doug's all like, no, you're my hero. You saved me. I wouldn't have done it for you. And then Doug thinks back to the time where he got captured. He's like, that's right, that motherfucker didn't come and save me.
Yeah, when Kiro got captured, he's like, Doug, you didn't do it. Why the fuck didn't you do this?
It just argues on them, and it ends on them arguing, and it was actually a good and funny scene. But so yeah, this episode was like it was like RoboCop and fucking Commando. It was all those 80s cheese movies turned into anime, and we loved it.
We've been complaining about Doug and Kirill episodes.
Yeah.
And we actually got one we liked.
Well, I think it's because it was, and yes, Doug and Kirill were the main focus here, but it did involve everybody.
That's very true.
Yeah. I mean, even Travis had major scenes. Even the secretary had major parts in it. It had everybody involved. So, I still, my theory is still holding water, I think. So, that was Double Decker. Good episode. Definitely a good episode if you enjoy action 80s cheese. It was very, very fun. So, that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and move right along to the next entry on our list.
Today on Goblin Slayer, the mini slayings of goblins.
Yes, Goblin Slayer. Picking right up where we left off last episode, where we have our magic mirror. Which was, what was it again?
It was a mirror to another dimension.
Was it? Or was it to one of the moons where the goblins came from?
I think the goblins... Oh, yeah.
Remember?
His sister told him a story of how the goblins came from the moon.
I knew it would hit him eventually. I knew it would kick in eventually.
But let us ponder the deep meaning of killing goblins on today's Goblin Slayer episode.
Was there a deep meaning behind killing goblins?
Goblins.
Ah, okay. So, it actually kind of did address a question I had with the last episode. With an explosion that large, nobody heard that? But,
So apparently if you blow shit up in a sewer, goblins will come running.
Yes, en masse. And, also a one-eyed goblin champion.
Yeah, this is the goblin champion that got wrecked and nearly killed Goblin Slayer or killed him.
He straight out killed Goblin Slayer. They had to use a revive spell on him.
If that's what you want to call it.
Hey, am I gonna if I die and get revived that way, am I gonna complain? Fuck no.
This ensues a battle against our goblin champion and the horde of goblins, which I could only think when they were running up there because it just looked like they were just screaming Leroy Jenkins to me. They were just going to their deaths.
This was, speaking of like with Double Decker we just spoke of about plans that should never have worked. This episode epitomizes the plan that should never have worked. Because they're like, Goblin Slayer, what's the plan? And his first thought, he thinks back to Rat Golem and he goes, what's in my pocket? And he's just sort of like, Goblin Slayer? Huh? Plan? It's like, assess my resources. You have what? And then he's, like, I have 1 spell. I have no spells. I have 2 spells. It's like, okay, you do that, you do this, you do the thing. And, Lizard Man, you rip that mirror off the fucking wall. He's like, got it. There's a reason I'm bringing that up. So, they make very quick barricades. They, set up their defenses really fast. And they begin this huge, long, drawn-out fight against goblins.
Using nothing but a bow and a sling.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think even Goblin Slayer was using a sling. I think he was just chucking them.
Well, they're getting a lot of kills here, and...
Goblins are apparently frailer than I thought. I mean, either that
they're
or...
goblins, man.
Either that or Goblin Slayer's arm, he has one hell of an arm on him, because he's one-hit KO.
Have you ever been hit in the head with a rock?
I have, actually.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
It's not, but it didn't kill me.
It could have.
But, they're surprisingly wrecking these goblins with nothing but rocks and arrows. Until, close quarters comes in and, Goblin Slayer whips out his sword. And, of course, he uses, the Goblin Champion. He actually, he learned from his past mistakes. And he's,
He uses the Goblin Champion as a weapon.
Yeah, basically. He keeps running towards other groups of goblins so that the Goblin Champion will try and kill him, and ends up killing bunches of goblins on his behalf.
Yeah, we have established that the club is probably the best weapon in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
The oversized club...
That was the reason of Episode 5. We didn't like Episode 5. That was its reason, was to establish that clubs are the best weapon. That was its purpose.
But the oversized club that the Goblin Champion is using actually works against him because he's doing a lot of team killing this episode.
He's one of those guys. There's always one of those guys in PvPs where there's friendly fire. There's always that one guy.
Ban Goblin Champion.
Yep. So
I do want to complain about High Elf Archer though.
Okay.
Because she was shooting them, and then like halfway through, she just stops to complain. Like
she doesn't have any arrows left. Of course,
she had one arrow left. She stops to complain about something, and I'm like,
well, no, she didn't complain. She screamed like, "I need more arrows." And that's when Goblin Slayer went and he grabbed a quiver off of a a goblin and chucked it at her.
She was still complaining and doing nothing.
But that's her thing. That's sort of her character. They make fun of her for it constantly. Like dwarves keep saying, like with the way how bratty you are all the time.
I mean, she has like daggers or something that she uses.
Does she?
When she, yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw her using them.
I thought at
some point.
I thought when she was doing close quarters, she was like stabbing them with her arrows.
Well, she probably did that too, but. It kind of irritated me because I do play multiplayer games, and then there are those people that will stand there and do nothing from time to time, and they're not adding anything, and you're like, oh god.
Well, she was adding though. She was actually killing as many as she could. She was actually pretty badass. I think she got some of them. I think she got most of the kills.
She needs to invest in a quiver that holds more arrows. Because this seems to be her largest handicap, is that she always runs out of arrows in every battle.
Yeah?
And then she starts using goblin arrows, and she complains about them being crappy.
Yeah, she complains a lot. But meanwhile, while this is going on, Lizardman is trying to get the mirror off the wall as per his instructions. Like Goblin Slayer's like, he's like, I'll work on the. He's like, Lizardman's like, I'll work on the mirror, right? And he's like, right, which apparently means rip that fucker off the wall because that's what he was trying to do. To which he prays to his Brontosaurus god.
He prays to the Brontosaurus to give him roid rage.
Oh, fictional dinosaur that doesn't actually exist, but people thought it did because people put bones together wrong. Give me the strength, strength 10 times, tenfold. And he hulks out and starts ripping the thing off the wall slowly. And Priestess is like, and I'll help. And she takes her staff and gets it, tries to wedge it in there with a crowbar. Yeah, and somehow is doing as much progress as a lizardman who had to buff himself times 10.
We have our lizard in the full grips of his roid rage, pulling this mirror out of the wall, really straight.
His bare claws.
And little 15-year-old Priestess runs up and is like, tink. And it's like, oh shit, fucking Priestess.
I guess one could make the argument that he weakened it for her. He loosened it up for her. But it was weird. So I guess
maybe she dumped all of her points into strength.
So once he gets it off the wall, the plan begins. The plan is apparently to use it as a shield, to put it above themselves. Which, by the way, did we talk about how it was a magic mirror that actually was a teleporting mirror between where they were and a place full of goblins?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Because things went through it, it wasn't a solid mass. So they used it as a shield above them, and then Goblin Slayer turns to the dwarves now! And he starts casting this stone spell that then, control rock, because then he brings the ceiling down on them. And because shit just goes through the mirror, there was no tension on that mirror. They just had to sit underneath it until it ended.
And this is about half of the episode, which is the most interesting part. Because then we seg into...
Well, I like the other half. Well, yeah.
We seg into...
Well,
anyway, they're Goblin Slayer's plan succeeds because they get protected from the ceiling collapsing down and killing everything.
And I love that just Dwarf has the best line. He goes, I almost kind of feel bad for the goblins on the other side of the mirror.
Almost feel bad.
Because you imagine they were probably just sitting, because it showed them, they have their own little society. It shows them goblin children playing, and some, other goblins making food in a big cauldron, and they're all smiling and laughing with each other. It's all huh. Interesting. And so a whole landslide of rocks just came spewing in their faces at terminal velocity.
Poor goblins.
Yeah, poor goblins. Press F for goblins. So... and then Goblin Slayer, High Elf decides she needs to bitch a little more. She's like, oh man. And Goblin Slayer comes up behind her. It's like, no poison, no fire, no explosions, and no water. He just shove it in her face. And she goes, yeah, you did good. And then kicks him off the embankment.
What?
Off the little, not embankment, the little cliff that they're on, the little ledge. She goes tumbling head over heels.
I don't understand this girl.
She was being playful. It was funny. I think she's starting to develop feelings for him too, like every other female in the show. Because during the fight, it shows the scene. No. It shows this scene where during the fight, he's falling back to get behind the thing because they're putting the mirror in position, and she holds her hand out. And he grabs it and takes it, and, they pulls her back. And does this thing where they zooms in on her face, and she has this look on her face as she's staring at Goblin Slayer going by. And
I don't buy it because, if anything, it would be strictly platonic. Every other girl has just wanted to jump on him and start riding him then and there.
But the party's building up a dynamic, and that's why one of the reasons I love this show so much is that the characters in the party, the main five, are actually building up a dynamic with each other. They grow as characters. It's actually really awesome. But, because even at the end, where they're talking, when he turns to talk to her, she, blushes heavily. So, I mean, I don't know. I think she's starting to develop something for him.
And then we have the other half of the episode.
God damn it.
Which was...
So yeah, okay, there is a downside to this episode.
Which was Goblin Slayer talking to Sword Maiden. And Sword Maiden...
CG Goblin Slayer is talking to her.
Yeah, they're from two different worlds.
For some reason, he's CG this whole time, even though he's just standing there.
They don't speak the same language.
He comes in to basically ask her, you know everything. He says, you know everything. You knew everything, didn't you? And she goes, how did you know? He's like, actually, I didn't. I was just going to go around and ask everyone and with authority in this town if they knew anything. It's like, shit.
Got you there.
And he basically is like, this, for me, this felt very Games of Thronian, because it's like, the two of them have this back and forth that I had a hard time following. If you followed it, please explain it.
Nothing really much happened here. This was Sword Maiden being Sword Maiden and wanting to hump Goblin Slayer.
Well, no, it's like, was she the one who was bringing the goblins, or...
No.
I was confused, because he's accusing her of doing something wrong. But what was it?
She just gives this whole spiel about... Like, there's some flashbacks about how she got captured by goblins and raped, because that's what goblins do.
Yeah, and burned her eyes out.
And she's terrified of goblins, and that's why she had to get Goblin Slayer out here, because everybody would think it was a joke if the woman who slayed the Demon Lord was asking for help against goblins. So now she's like, only you can understand, and you have to be the one who understands, right? You'll stay here, and you'll protect me, won't you? No. Come on. Like, nope, won't do it. She's like, I thought you would have understood. And then he explicitly says that he's not interested in her because she's not a goblin. Yes. And yeah. She's like, why won't you? He's like, why won't you stay? Why won't you? She's like, because you're not a goblin. And this whole time, she's actually throwing herself forward. She, like, crying and wants him so bad. And he's just flat out rejected her. Yeah. Because she's not a goblin. The hero who saved the world from the Demon Lord. Nope. It's like, she's like, but then as he walks away, he goes, but if there's ever more goblins, call on me. I'll come back. Yeah, she's like, even in my dreams? He's like, yeah. And then she goes back to her and she's sobbing, and then it pans back out to the full screen, and he's gone. He fucking Batman's out of there. So... maybe there will be a scene where she sends out a letter to Goblin Slayer. I had a bad dream about goblins. And then Goblin Slayer shows up and just shakes her in the head. And it's like, I protected her from the goblins. I mean, is the scene weird? Is it awkward? Yes, it's very weird and awkward. But I kind of get it. She is a public figure, a hero to the masses that can't afford to appear weak. Because people in power will pounce on that to take her power from her, and this and the other. I understand that part. But she's suffering from extreme PTSD from being violently assaulted and raped by goblins. And she's showing this side of her that's, sad and still scared. She talks about being scared. She's still scared, and how sad it must be that she's still scared, and this and the other. And it's just the way they presented it was very awkward, because it doesn't really present her as like you said, it doesn't present her as someone suffering from PTSD. Well, I mean, it's trying to, but as he said, it just sort of looks like it's like she's trying to jump his bone. That's what it looks like she's trying to do. Well, it's heavily implied. This is the part that's wrong with the scene. Like, it would have worked fine if she was just like, yeah, I'm scared of goblins because of what happened. Right. And it would be a joke to everybody if they thought, Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then they have this other undertone of, oh, please fuck me, Goblin Slayer. I want you so bad. Which didn't help. Which the last episode didn't help that impression. But the last episode where she's just like fondling her breasts in front of him, and it's just sort of like, it's like, touching his thigh, and it's like, it's like, yeah, we get it, lady. But there's just so many girls that are like that to him. Yeah. You got Guild Girl, like, she would jump him in an instant, and then Cowgirl as well. Yeah. The only ones that haven't tried are Priestess and High Elf.
Which I still maintain that she's starting to have some feelings for him. Just
Well,
not
we'll see.
just not in the I want to jump your bone way. She's actually developing real feelings for Goblin Slayer.
I guess I appreciate her more for that.
Because, yeah. Because like I love it. Like they're taking the carriage home, and Goblin, he's like, "So what are you going to do, Goblin Slayer, when you get home?" "I'm going to try and make ice treats."
Ice treats.
And everyone's all like, "Oh, I want to help you make the ice treats," and
Especially Lizard Man.
Yeah, Lizard Man's like, "What is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's iced milk, and you sort of like do this with it." And he's like, oh, "Milk? As in cheese? As in nectar from the gods? Yes!"
And then, the high elf is kind of standoffish. She's like, "I don't want your treats."
He's like, "No, she doesn't." She's like, she doesn't say anything. She's like, I'm not getting involved. Like, Goblin Slayer like looks at her like, "What about you?" And then that's when that scene is like, she gets all blushy and she's like, "Fine, okay, I'll take some." So, this was a fun, like I said, fun episode. Like for the most part, it's like a really great action scene in the. It was like D&D brought to life. It was really awesome. It was badass. There's just that weird 5-minute scene, like 2/3 of the way in with Sword Maiden. That's just.
I guess I forgot that the Titty Witch doesn't want to jump him either.
That's true. She already has her own bitch with Lance guy, but or Polearm technically, not Lance. But anyway, so I'm still loving the show. Like I said, every episode seems to slowly develop each character while still keeping true to their character. Like Goblin Slayer is still very short. His answers are very short, to the point.
I was like, very short. What
No, he's very blunt, is what I mean.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can see him developing as a character.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And the group, like, this group is one of the best group dynamics I've seen in an anime. Like, the way these 5 interact with one another. It is so fun to watch them, especially when they're not in combat. When they're in a mundane setting, and the 5 of them just start goofing with each other, it's so fun to watch those 5 interact. And in combat, you can see how they're syncing up. Like this episode, like I said, when she reaches out her hand to grab him to pull behind cover, like they're not even like thinking, they're just acting on instinct, because they know how the 5 of them, how each other acts and how they behave in combat. They've now grown to know each other in and out of combat. And it's actually really cool to see that.
I like the battle sequences because these are different from your normal anime fare, where some badass main character just goes in and destroys every enemy, no questions asked.
Yeah.
They're no threat to him.
Yep.
They don't have to come up with a plan. It just works.
And you know what else I like about this anime? There's no, like usually in a medieval settings like these, fantasy settings, there'll always be like the traitor, or the guy you always knew was a bad guy, but then suddenly he's like, and I was actually the bad guy the whole time. Or, some guy in the background who was actually, manipulating things. This is just a pure, what is this group doing, anime. And I love it. I love it. So, it's continuing to be awesome. The show is continuing to be great, but there's still one anime out there that cannot be dethroned, and it won't be this week either. That one being Banana Fish. Our number one once again, because every time we do a ranking, it always ends up being number one, because it's continuing to be fucking awesome.
It's so awesome that the last episode is going to be double length.
Yes, we did find out. Well, he found out, and then he related to me. But, yeah, that's going to be... when that's, we have... Is that one also be 12 or 13?
Well, technically
or
it's 24.
So, yeah, so 12. All right. I mean, for the season, But, so, what do we have this episode? We have, groups all back together. Ash is back with his friends and everything.
And we have more crazy names.
Oh, God, what was it? I can't remember now.
We have
something chicken.
We have people like Cane Blood, and now, what was it? Chicken something.
Hollow Chicken?
Harlem Chicken.
Harlem Chicken,
Harlem
yes.
Chicken, yes.
Fucking Harlem Chicken. Dude, they got Harlem Chicken. We died. We fucking fell over and died. We're like, what?
I have a theory that these are not code names. These are just the names that their parents actually gave them. Like, this kid had the surname of Chicken, and the mom's like, you know what? You need to give a name to this boy when he's born. And he went down to he's like, I need a list of names for baby boys. Doug, Jeff, Jim, Bill. No, I got it right here. Harlem
Chicken. Yeah. So this episode starts with Singh showing up at the place where they're all staying. He's beaten the fucking back. He somehow escapes from Yulung's clutches. That's right. No, his brother, his half brother, like knocked him into the canal.
He just sewered him.
Yeah.
And Singh did not fare too well.
Yeah. Somehow he shows up all like completely like as if something in the water beat the crap out of him.
You know, I would not want to be kicked into sewer water.
No. Especially he doesn't have fucking pink eye and hepatitis.
It's kind of a dick move he pulled there. Like, every time we have a show...
to save him. I mean, he was going to get, captured otherwise.
Every time we have a show, the sewers are always spick and span.
Yeah.
And they're not how they would actually be.
So, he enlists Ash to save his gang. To which he does exceedingly easily. Like, I mean, absurdly easy. But not after Yulung gets to them. Yulung makes a deal with Singh's brother, his second in command, but we don't know what that deal is. And they save his men. They're all unconscious and they're resting in Ash's place. And while they're all resting, Golzine hires someone else.
Yeah, this is a brand new character.
Something Fox. Commander Fox?
He's some military guy.
I just know it's Fox. Foxx. That's all I remember.
Well, this is... They're bringing in a new character in the 21st episode.
Yep.
And there's not much to go. Nope. So
he's Marine and former French legionnaire, French Foreign Legion. His former French Foreign Legion turned mercenary.
You know what? This guy gives more theory to the one guy actually being a vampire. Because I think Ash is going... He goes into professor mode again. He puts on the glasses.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Ash Lynx. Now I'm Professor Ash. he finds out all these details about him.
Yes.
Or was it Griffin?
Griffin's dead. That's his brother. You mean Max Lobo?
Yeah, Max Lobo.
The other names?
Yeah, Griffin's dead.
Yeah.
He died a long time ago.
It's like episode 4, I think.
Yeah, so Max Lobo.
Yeah,
Ash.
Him and Richard, his the other guy who works with him at the magazine he writes for, or used to write for until he got fired. And those two find all this information on the guy. They're on this group that Golzine's hired. And
it says that Commander Max is dead.
Fox.
Commander Fox.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, they're all dead men, quote unquote. So, it's like
dead or undead.
Well, I think it's the whole you can't only the living have to apply by the laws. It's nothing wrong. Nothing against the law for a dead man to kill somebody.
Yeah, I guess it's also that trope of if you don't see the body, they're not actually dead.
Yeah, but Golzine hires this group to hunt down Ash, and I mean hunt in the literal sense. He actually works it as a hunt. He
goes on the hunt in multiple ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Ash drags Max into a gay bar. And what was it? The Future Gay Bar or something like that? Or something like The Future or something. What was the name of it? There's this gay bar really next to it, and it has some title in the front. And actually, you put them together, it was actually kind of funny. But to talk to this dude named The Frog, because apparently everyone, these are all Metal Gear villains, because they all have to have these names.
Metal Gear.
But they're actually going there to get all the pictures of all the people who have ever gone into that club, because he owns the place where he as a boy was sold into, prostitution and everything like that. So he's trying to get all the, he's going to publish all the people who had gone in there to rape little boys. So they go in there, and like while he's in there, Fox like goes up, slides up to him to try and like offer him a drink, but he doesn't know he's the bad guy yet. But we do, because they showed us, which I kind of wish they hadn't shown us right then, beforehand, and then done that scene. It would have been better to have the reveal afterwards. But,
I think they did the reveal because Max Lobo was with him and he didn't recognize him.
Well, Max wasn't there. Max wasn't there either. Well, no, Max was not there. Max went to the bathroom.
He said, "Who was that?" because he came back.
Yeah, but he saw him from behind. He didn't see him from the front.
And Ash is just like, he's nobody.
Yeah. So the Fox's plan is he's actually systematically hitting all of the Black Sabbath's hideouts, and killing all of Kane's men just systematically. And every time they go there, they try to stop it, but they never get there in time. And
Kane Blood is getting really upset.
Yep. And then
they're doing some really disturbing things to these guys.
Yeah.
There's like one guy where they killed him and they chopped off both of his arms. And
did they? I thought his arms were I thought his arms were behind him.
No, he's leaning on the wall and he has no arms.
Oof.
And there was a earlier scene where they said we found a arm that wasn't attached to a body.
Well, that was Frog. Oh yeah, that's right. He killed Frog.
Yeah, because Ash and Max Lobo get all the pictures from the Frog guy.
Yeah.
These names.
But, I mean, that was actually a really great scene where Ash is holding the Frog at gunpoint, and he starts having like PTSD flashback moments of him being, raped and it being filmed and photographed and stuff like that. And he's just like, he almost like, if Max wasn't there, he would have killed the man. It was actually this really tense scene. But it's Ash is trying to figure out who's hitting the Sabbaths, who's doing this, and how will they come at us? It's obviously some kind of military organization, but how are they gonna, there's only this set number of ways they can come at us, but which one will it be? And if I guess wrong, then it's all over. And AG sort of comes in and like. He comes, he helps Ash figure out the way to figure it out.
AG just says something, and Ash's 200 IQ takes over.
Yeah,
and he's like, "That's how it's gonna happen."
Yep. Yeah, it's just the sort of thing. He's like, well, look, if you were contracted to, if you were hired to hunt somebody like you, how would you do it? I love Ash was like, I wouldn't take the contract. It's like, yeah, but assume you did. How would you do it? And he's like, well, I would have done it. Oh. I know what to do. And he comes up with this brilliant plan. And at first it's like, they are doing it. They're exactly how I predicted. And okay, we're gonna do this plan. Got the plan? Got the plan. Got the plan? Okay, we're gonna do the plan. And they take AG, and Jessica, Max Lobo's wife, because she's in danger.
She just had to show up.
Max called her there because obviously she's in danger too. So
she's in danger. She shows up with a gun ready to kill people.
Well, Ash gives it to Singh and his Chinese gang to get them out of there. And he's like, okay, we'll do it.
And Jessica goes with the Vanguard with Singh because reasons.
No, she had to go too. Jessica, like I said, AG and Jessica were going to be shepherded out underneath the sewers. And, in the sewers, rather, and they would meet up in 48 hours. Okay, we're going to meet up in 48 hours. So they're all doing the plan, and then the plan goes to shit. Unlike the last two, Double Decker and Goblin Slayer, where we're like, this plan should never have worked. This time, this was a solid plan that went to shit.
Yeah, so they're all escaping, and Ash is getting some good shots, but
actually, I'm surprised. I think he got called out for his aimbot. He missed a lot.
His aimbot was not working until a little later.
Yeah, I think he got one headshot the whole episode. He got a lot of heart shots and a lot of shoulder shots and a lot of just straight out misses, but no headshot.
People are like, oh yeah, Ash is like, oh no, people are calling me out for cheating again. I need to just go a little on the down low with this. I'll come back next episode and then I'll headshot everybody and nobody will notice.
Nobody will know. No. Fucking aimbots. I hate the people who use aimbots. No one will know. No. You mean yesterday when you were getting all headshots and today when you suck? Yeah, I don't notice that the dichotomy there. But so the plane goes to shit, and Fox captures everybody. Actually, kind of off screen. Like, he shoots Vampire in the shoulder, and then suddenly 50 guys are there.
Yeah, so they capture everybody. They capture 5 guys. Then he's like, I'm going to execute these guys if you don't surrender, Ash. I mean, he could only feasibly kill 80% of them because one of them is a vampire.
Yes.
And that death will not stick.
No. So Ash, he's very practiced at this, gives up.
Like, come on. He gets captured again.
But it's like, really?
Impending escape about to happen.
Yep. So meanwhile, while that's going on, Singh is leading his group and Jessica and AG out in the sewers, and then Lao, his half-brother,
and this other guy's convincing him, let's do it now, and he's like, no, not yet.
Not yet. But you remember what Yu Lung said? He's like, not yet. And at that point, Jessica goes, I can't take it. I gotta go back. I can't sit there and not be part of that action. She starts running back, to which AG's like, well, I guess I'll go too. To which Singh goes, I guess I'll go too. And they all start running back. And then the Chinese gang that apparently Yu Lung is secretly commanding, they're like, shit, what do we do now? Fuck. They don't really show if they go with them or not. But I think that's going to be the instrument of their escape.
Hopefully in the next episode we see Jessica being an action hero because whatever, just reasons at this point.
Yep.
And Singh gets in a kung fu battle with his half-brother and shows up to be completely badass or what. I'm just making shit up at this point.
Yeah. I want to see Singh use that his badass the kunai on the garrote wire.
Oh yeah, he hasn't used that in a while.
Yeah, I want to see him whip that out again. That's badass. Like he tried to use it on that one guy who cyanide pilled himself. But
cyanide pill or garlic.
So it's we got a brand new bad guy in episode 21 of 24.
This guy's not going to get much character development, is he?
No, I'm pretty sure he's dead next week. He is dead next episode. I am fairly certain. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's gonna go out the way that one doctor went. Just pumped so many bullets into his body. He's just like a mush on the ground.
What if Jessica kills him? If he's just so fucking...
That'd be amazing.
That'd be the most ignoble death ever.
I think that'd be the most badass. Just suddenly bullet in the brain from Jessica.
This chick that was married to Max Lobo a long time ago and hates his guts came back to save him.
Yep.
And that was the whole undoing of this French Foreign Legion guy's master plan.
I have a feeling... I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I have a feeling Yu Lung's gonna come into the situation somehow. And there's going to be
Yu Lung is seeing Kung Fu battle.
I have a feeling I want to say that's probably how Yu Lung is going to go out. Is
Kung
by
Fu
Singh.
battle.
Yeah, by Singh. I think Singh's going to be the one to take out Yu Lung.
Okay, let's see if this prediction comes correct, because I'm going to throw all my chips in on that one too, because I actually want to see it.
I think, because we're getting to the end. I'm going to predict Golzin's not going to die. I think he's going to he's going to get imprisoned or something. I think Ash is going to defeat his former teacher, because that's tropey as hell, so that's probably what's going to happen.
Well, he's got a bum arm now, so...
Yeah. I think Ash is going to take out Blanca, and he's going to have the choice to kill Golzin, but then chooses not to. And then Singh is going to take out Yu Lung in badass action kung fu style.
I think Ash is going to kill Golzin because, he killed Arthur, and
he
kills a bunch of other dudes. He doesn't care.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think that Ash is gonna go, I'm gonna take... He's not gonna be like, Golzin, I have the high ground. He's not gonna do that.
I think that there's gonna be something they're gonna have on Golzin by the end that's gonna send his ass to jail.
Well, I'm hoping that Ash kills him, Yu Lung and Singh have a kung fu battle, and Yu Lung loses, and I guess Jessica becomes our action heroine just because of reasons.
I would be all down for that.
We've had a bunch of Rambo episodes, so...
Yes.
Let's go, Banana Fish. Solid finale. That's what the double episode is for.
Yes! Oh, it's going to be awesome. But we need to get there first. We need to get there. To get there, though, we're going to have to end this episode. Because that was all 5. Once again, Banana Fish. How is one show so goddamn good that across 2 seasons, it is, for almost every time better than everything that comes up against.
Source was obviously good.
And I really do think I need to go read the manga. I think I should. I really should go read the manga adaptation of this.
Apparently, it's adapting the entire manga too. So
maybe, I don't know. I can't say because I haven't read it. You guys tell us in the comments below.
So I don't have any cheat sheets on it.
So, yep, that was Banana Fish, and that was our list for the week. And that was week 9 of Anime Talk. The fact that we had to rank them, and we put, 2 of them disappointed us that much, it wasn't exactly the best week. But the things that were good were really good. We enjoyed them immensely.
And I apologize, I made a math error last week. We were only 2/3 of the way this season. Now we're 75%
there
of the way.
There we go. See, if CarnagePanda here can admit when he's wrong, admit his mistakes, and correct them, anyone can. Except for me, because I'm never wrong. But anyway, that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, if you enjoyed it, please let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.